Ben was like, I honestly don't remember. Ben saying he didn't remember, then magically remembers different details once Sara inquires a little bit more. And Sara, where was this energy when Ben was talking about staying out of it for George Floyd? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena and today we are talking about Love is Blind, Season 8, Episode 9. Let's get into it. I just got home from a jog, trying to jog again. So Rugrats, that's what my shirt is, in case you were wondering. So I have my notes here. And I mean, I guess the season is getting more juicy. If you haven't seen my review of Love is Blind Season 8 so far, go ahead and check out this playlist. Last video we ended with episode 8. That's where we started to meet some family members and everything. Episode 9, we see Sara super happy with Ben. Her values are just gone. No, Ben is her value. And then we see Taylor meet Daniel's family. They both come from really solid, happy families, it seems like. It's just a lot of good conversations. Really with Taylor's family, I think her mom was the more so concerned. Her dad, remember her dad is sick. He has cancer and I'm not sure how much time he has left. I feel like they said a year. Taylor implies that her dad's just, happy to be here with his time left. He'd love to see his daughter get married. Taylor's mom was saying, in what world did you think it was okay to go ahead and get engaged without me? Taylor says, well, I hope you trust my judgment. I've never felt like this before. In the past, I've rushed things, and even though we had a short time frame, we've gotten to know each other really well. He loves me so much. Both Taylor and Daniel's family have been together for decades. They feel like they all come from a really strong foundation. When Daniel meets Taylor's parents, they go to Taylor's house, and then Taylor's parents come to the house. They kind of just talk about how this is a new process for them, but they trust their kids, and we're just here to support them. Yay, yay, pretty happy stuff. And that's pretty much it. They're like, oh, I got dibs on Christmas. They love their Christmas. After that, we see Dave take a cycle class with Lauren, and Lauren actually works at the cycle bar part-time. She's killing it on that bike. Go, Lauren. And Dave's like, oh, I work out a lot, so this should be easy. And then he's kind of struggling on the bike. I've taken 2 cycle classes before. It's harder than it looks. And then they add, different moves. Like you just start like body rolling on the bike. It's hard. I feel like that's something you have to do regularly to get into. Lauren sits down with her friends, who are a married couple. I forget their names, sorry. Lauren, her 2 friends, and Dave sit down, and they're kind of talking about how everything is going so far. Dave brings up Lauren's sneaky link again. Not a surprise. And the friends are like surprised that this is still an issue, and they assure him, they say, yeah, he was nothing. Her friends know of the sneaky link, but they've never met Sneaky Link. They say it's super casual. They confirm it was just a situationship. Lauren had no intentions of marrying this man or even considering to date him. And then Dave is still headstrong about his concerns. Lauren starts crying and just super awkward. Lauren's friends even say that Sneaky Link just wants to be on TV. I mean, what does that even tell you? So Dave is still focusing on Sneaky Link, who just wants to be on TV and everything. Dave even has the audacity to say that he feels like he's in high school when he's the one who is focusing on this, and that's something you would do in high school. Ugh, it's just, same thing, new episode. He keeps talking about how he has mutual friends with the Sneaky Link, and Dave's friends keep saying how it was more serious than Lauren had portrayed. And Lauren has assured herself every single time. Then we see Virginia meet Devin's family, and this was such a wholesome scene. Virginia, she just has a really good head on her shoulders. I feel like the questions that Devin's family asked were yes or no questions. They were just basically questions that obviously someone would answer to please the family type thing. But Devin's mom even asked, like, if Devin's sick, would you take care of him? If Devin can't work, would you help out? Yeah. Like, those questions were just interesting. In this scene, we see Devin's parents, Devin's sister, and then Devin's sister's husband, who I think they've been married for 10 years. And then Devin says that his parents have been married for a while. Besides the obvious answer questions, Virginia, she was very cool, calm, and collected. And she was like, yeah, of course. The prenup gets mentioned, and Virginia was like, I definitely want a prenup. just protect both of us. You could tell that Devin's sister was kind of concerned about that.
It kind of, when she said that, kind of made me nervous. When people think of prenup, they think it's not going to work out.
But Virginia was like, protecting both of our assets. Obviously, I don't want a divorce, but I want to have something that is respectful to both of us. Devin's sister kind of shows concern. She mentions how if you have talks of a prenup, that means you're already thinking about divorce. Number one, yeah, because what if you do divorce? You want to protect yourself. But also, too, it's like when someone wants a prenup, again, like my last video, if you want a prenup, I compare that to a will. You want something in place in case something happens. I guess death is inevitable, divorce is not necessarily inevitable, but still, you want to make sure that you protect yourself and then you also protect your spouse. They kind of harped on the prenup thing, but Virginia held her own and she was like, this is good for both of us, to be honest, and we're still figuring out the logistics. Devin was pretty much agreeable about the prenup situation in front of his family. And then they meet Devin's pet pig. It was a really good interaction. I think it was really cute to see that family scene. Sara meets Ben's friends and they're more diverse than I thought. One of Ben's friends said that she's gay, so I guess that shows Sara that he accepts equality in Sara's eyes. That doesn't mean anything. If you have a friend who is part of the LGBTQIA+ community, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are an ally. Sara's just looking for any type of sign that her and Ben's core values align. These so-called core values come up in the conversation when Sara meets Ben's friends. Ben's friends ask if their core values match, and Sara is saying it with her chest. She's like, yeah, we were aligned on everything. They intentionally not talk about George Floyd, and they intentionally not talk about racism, unless they magically cut that out with editing for this show, but they did not mention that because they are not aligned on that. They are also not aligned on voting, so not all of your core values match, but whatever. Monica and Joey, they recap about Joey meeting Monica's family. Let me just say, Joey is very emotionally intelligent, and he clocked the tea that Monica's sister is jealous. They both say they think it went pretty well. Joey mentions that he doesn't think that Monica's sister likes him. Joey asked Monica, has your sister approved of anyone that you've introduced to the family before? And Monica says, actually, no, now that you mention it. Joey wonders if there's some jealousy there, and Monica's like, Joey was saying, if she doesn't like me, I'd like to know why or what gave her that impression. And then Monica's like, I think you should talk with her. Joey was like, I'd be happy to talk with her, but I also think you need to talk to your sister, which was really good. And I have to say, again, I love the Minnesotan accent. I think because I'm from the Midwest, I can kind of recognize it, but it's really strong in Minnesota. Like, we kind of have a Midwestern twang to our voice. Not me, just in general. I thought it was cute. Going back to Daniel and Taylor, I did want to mention that both of them look like the perfect blend of their parents. I think it's cute when families have resemblance. Then we go back to Dave talking about the situationship again. Dave mentions that his friends, named Adam and Will, are convinced that Lauren hooked up with Sneaky Link a week before filming Love is Blind. Lauren mentions the situationship again, states that it was friends with benefits. She has a lot of patience again. And Dave just acts like Lauren should have been a virgin before coming onto the show, which is very hypocritical because, again, Dave mentions that he hasn't had a girlfriend in 4 years. Then he says that he was still dating during that time. During those 4 years that he did not have someone labeled as a girlfriend, he was still dating and flirting with people in the bars. God forbid Lauren does anything like that. Because Dave was probably having a situationship too. And Dave does admit to flirting with people in bars, even if it was the day before filming Love is Blind. So we see that come up again. Foreshadowing, that is not the last time that Lauren's sneaky link comes up. Sara and Ben. You guys know how I feel about this couple. My dog's lying next to me and she's napping. Sorry. I'm almost done, okay? Sara and Ben. So this is the big scene towards the end that is heavily overproduced. We see Sara say, "You're literally everything I've always wanted," and then they are having a cute little moment. Later on, we see them just chilling, and Ben is like, "Do you want another beer?" And she's like, "Yeah." Then she's sitting on the couch while Ben is in the kitchen, and she's like, and then Ben's like, What? And then Sarah's like, this TikTok. So basically that TikTok that came out a little bit ago, June of 2024. Oh my gosh, that's almost a year from now. I'm just gonna play that TikTok here.
Someone just leaked to me some of the photos of the cast of the new season of Love is Blind that they're filming here in Minneapolis. Like, I knew when I heard that they were filming here in my stomach that I would recognize some of the names on that list, and I would have some information on those boys. Minneapolis is a big city, small town sort of vibe where everyone knows each other, and the dating pool here is very, very small. So if you've messed up, someone's gonna know about it. I'm just exhausted and tired of society rewarding shitty men who treat women terribly and manipulate and lie all the time. They are horrible people, and they will do anything to get what they want and to get attention.
And so you can see in that TikTok that the girl is crying and she's referencing boys in Minnesota, how it's annoying and upsetting that they get rewarded for their behavior. They don't get any type of consequences. Ben responds to this conversation and says, "I think the girl on the TikTok is referencing me." He also mentions that he's seen that TikTok before. So the fact that you've seen that TikTok before, didn't think to mention it to your fiance, knowing that your story is going to be on a public platform, things on social media are already coming out. Why would you not give your fiance a heads up? So you were just going to let it ride and then just ignore it? Ben admits to blocking the girl on TikTok. This scene is really annoying because I think Ben tried to stay out of this. Ben basically is so broad. He was like, "Oh yeah, I did see it. Oh yeah, I did block her because I just didn't want her saying other stuff and being tied to me." Sara was like, "I'm trying to figure out why this girl is crying." And Ben was like, "I honestly don't remember." Ben saying he didn't remember, then magically remembers different details once Sara inquires a little bit more. And Sara, where was this energy when Ben was talking about staying out of it for George Floyd? You didn't ask more questions about it, about what he thinks or what examples would he do to support Black Lives Matter or to support equality that she loves so much. Ben remembers that he and TikTok girl did not hook up. He magically remembers that they've only kissed once. He magically remembers that they went out on a couple of dates. And then he mentions that, "Oh, I did ghost her." So maybe that's why she's crying. Sara's like, obviously something else had to happen for her to be crying 4 years later. I mean, would you cry 4 years later about someone who ghosted you if you just kissed and went on a couple dates? That's information that we're given from Ben, but I don't know. I don't think I would. And if it was 4 years ago, depending on how old the girl was, maybe Ben would be 25, 26. But still, if that girl was in her 20s, I don't necessarily think she would be that butthurt 4 years later. And that girl's TikTok is now deleted. Ben also says the TikTok girl is overreacting about the whole situation. This is why you don't pick and choose your values, Sara. That just bit you in the butt. If you've been watching some of the interviews that the Love is Blind Season 8 cast is doing now, Sara says that she originally saw that girl's TikTok when they were at the bar meeting Ben's friends, and she couldn't really say anything. She went to the producers once she saw that TikTok, and then they had to film that elsewhere, and so that's why it's overproduced when she's gasping about the TikTok video. Honestly, that is it for this episode. That was a lot to pack in, but those were the most pertinent parts, I guess. I think it's gonna get a bit more interesting in the next episodes. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this season so far, what you thought about Taylor and Daniel meeting their parents, Devin and Virginia's prenup conversation, Virginia meeting Devin's family. What do y'all think about that? There's a lot that's going on. Let me know. And we have a lot more episodes to go, so hopefully we can just laugh together. I'm so tired of hearing about this sneaky link conversation as well. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Lauren did anything wrong? Do you think David should shut up about it? Let me know what you think. As always, like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!